20 of my players. Then he continued on and said, the rest of the team can dress their own selves. Well, just the other day, Old Rock, the good ag, made his way back to the promised land here in Brazos County, Texas, here in College Station. He made his living working in the Texas oil business down in Houston, Texas. And he came back a very successful individual. Well, it just so happened that he couldn't find himself a house here in College Station because all 48,000 students had taken up all the rental property. And he couldn't find a house at all. So he made his way out into the countryside, to farmhouse, to ranch, where he made his way down, final way down there in the Brazos River bottom. And he came upon a good old farm, and happened to be Old McDonald's farm. E-I-E-I-O. And he knocked on Old McDonald's door, and Old McDonald came to the door and he said, sir, how may I help you? And Old Rock says, well, do you happen to have any rental property you can spare me? And Old McDonald shakes his head and he says, you know what? The only thing I have on my piece of property is a couple acres of good old Texas cotton and some good old Brangus bulls. But there is one thing I can lease out to you, and that is my good old outhouse out in my backyard. And Old Rock, being the rough, tough, real stuff Aggie that he was really desperate for a place to stay, so he agreed to live in that outhouse. Well, he moved into the outhouse that night. The very next morning, Old McDonald, who had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, he looked out and walked out on his back porch and saw that old outhouse that he leased to Old Rock had 2 television satellites on the top of it. And so he gets the wild idea to go out there and knock on that outhouse door, and Old Rock comes to the door, and Old McDonald asked Old Rock, he said, Old Rock, I can understand why you have one antenna on top of your outhouse, but I don't understand why you have 2. Old Rock looked at Old McDonald and he said, well, sir, being the good old entrepreneur spirit man that he was, he said, I just so happened to sublease the basement to a Texas Tech Red Raider. And that's exactly what we're going to do to my gays. We're going to beat the ever-living, ever-loving, compound, complex, White Texas Aggie Corps Cadets, White Texas Aggie 12th Band, White Texas Aggie Band, White Texas Aggie Parsons Mounted Cavalry, Cheryl speaking at midnight yell practice. White Texas Aggie Old Army Yell in reunion. White Texas Aggie FoxSports.com here at midnight yell practice. We're going to beat the Fight Texas Aggie class of 2011. Hell, those Red Raiders, Ag.